so you can focus on conversations with qualified talent. With Hiring Pro, you can hire with confidence and build the team you need. Join the 2.7 million small businesses using LinkedIn to hire. Get started by posting your job for free at linkedin.com/Eisen. Terms and conditions apply.
When you tell someone what team you cheer for, do they apologize? Does your first childhood memory involve crying on a Jumbotron? Then you may be a fan of a BST or bad sports team. Luckily, when you bundle your home and auto insurance with Progressive, you're protected from things like fire damage caused by violently unplugging the TV or an accidental overhand left to the drywall. Visit Progressive.com today. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Covered subject to policy terms. Not available in all states or situations.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
He, Rich Paul, and whoever is in the small circle of people in the know knew that they were going to have to weather this. Everyone being annoyed at the delay and the indecision. It's almost as if he's enjoying this because he knows we're all chomping at the bit for this information, and he knows that there's an internal countdown in his head being like, okay, just wait, it's going to happen here.
Unsportsmanlike. Weekday mornings starting at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
The best dancers from across the globe are about to join me for the audition of a
Darcy
lifetime.
did pretty good.
ABC Mondays.
Yeah,
Do they have
so
what
too.
it takes to compete
really
and be the next Dancing with the Stars pro?
I couldn't believe I saw him sitting there. Good for
Our
you.
star judges will decide.
I'm glad they did that too.
What hunger looks like. It was 100% a wrong choice. Robert Irwin hosts.
The next era of ballroom starts right here on Dancing with the Stars, the next pro.
All new Mondays, 8/7 Central on ABC. Next day on Hulu.
This is Freddie and Harry on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Those Chicago Bears going to regress just a little bit. All those magic man moments, not saying Caleb Williams can't do it, but you got to be able to complete more than 65% of your passes in that offense. Caleb Williams openly talked about throwing for 4,000 yards. If he throws for 4,000 yards, that means he's throwing the ball too much, and that's not helping the offense.
Check out more from Freddie and Harry weekdays at 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. The Baseball Tonight podcast.
How much of a concern is the Ohtani situation for you? I'm saying there definitely are red flags there about what he's going to be able to contribute as a pitcher. And I kind of wonder if that's going to free him up and the Dodgers free them both up to just say, look, you pitch when you can, pitch when you're able to, but let's focus on you as a hitter.
The Baseball Tonight podcast is on the ESPN app or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Sundays are for the NWSL on ESPN. For world-class action.
How much do you love this game?
For the two-time MVP Magic.
Temwa Shawinga.
For the passion of the ride or dies.
Just absolutely crazy, crazy scenes.
It's the NWSL you love.
Look, this is the place to be.
NWSL Sundays on ESPN, presented by Ally. Also streaming on the ESPN app.
Amber Indian.
That's like the only thing that's edible in this entire country.
Fish and chips.
We've had a gas grill.
What's the food in the media center?
I ate a grilled Caesar chicken wrap for 3 straight days for lunch.
Let's talk royals, and
I
then I'll kick back to the remaining part of your show.
A buddy from the AP walked by. He said, I'm not telling you America invented hamburgers. I'm just telling you the British need to quit making them.
Amber Indian.
Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and say
Eastern on ESPN Radio and on Sirius XM Channel 80.
Today would be a good
Saturday.
day.
Yeah,
that's the one part about I keep working for the sports station is I can never take a day off.
Still goes back onto the track. Lead score. Nolan Arenado.
The Arizona Diamondbacks are in the nation's capital to face James Wood and the Washington Nationals.
Clears the bullpen of the bleachers. 4:35 for Wood.
The Diamondbacks at the Nationals. Coverage begins Saturday at 3:30 Eastern with first pitch at 4:05 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Presented by Progressive Insurance.
I've had WNBA All-Star circled on my calendar for a long time. Best players in the world showing out in Chicago?
It's unbelievable.
Say less. These ladies bring it.
Clark, don't lie.
Who all gonna be there? Asia and Stewie? I'm in.
Oh, she's what the fans want to see.
It's time to lock in. WNBA All-Star Game presented by AT&T July 25th on ABC, Disney Plus, and the ESPN app.
Wichita's new sports leader, ESPN Wichita, 92.3 FM, KKGQ, Newton. This is the Shane Dennis Show on the new ESPN Wichita, 92.3 FM.
Welcome into a Hump Day edition. Shane Dennis Show. It is Wednesday. It's also episode 1261. Jack Johnson alongside in the captain's chair running things. We'll hear from him here in a little bit. We'd like to hear from you over the next couple of hours. If you got something to add or if you got a question to ask, then fire it up. We got a couple different ways for you to interact. Hotline. We'll go to it actually once each hour. We're going to have a couple interviews today. But in between, if you want to call and say hi or ask a question or something similar, then 316-669-4996 will be your jam. That's hotline. Call Jack to get to me. 316-669-4996. Actually, that number is also good to get to Pat. Pat Strathman from 2 to 4 with the Pulse. Same hotline number for both. Same text line number for both. 316-666-2285. That's the text line. So we have dedicated lines for both. Text line 316-666-2285. Hotline 316-669-4996. So you got those for you. Also, smart speaker, KKGQ 92.3. If you got one of those, that's how you can listen. We got every way under the sun for you to listen. We've got ESPNWichita.com. Click on Listen Live there if you want to. Also, you can download our ESPN Wichita app and click on Listen Live if you want to do that. Take us with you wherever you go. You can listen to the radio, 92.3 FM, in your car. You can also live stream the show on X, on Facebook, and on our YouTube channel. Whenever we're at our Equity Bank Park studio, like I am today, you can watch the show. And you can also watch with a ticker down at the bottom, giving you all the pertinent information that you might need when it comes to hotline number, text line, our Twitter handles, things like that. Oh, and also what we're going to talk about and in what order. So you get a little cheat sheet there. If you don't, well, like for example, if you're not on Twitter, but you are on Facebook, you can live stream there and you can subscribe to our YouTube channel and watch us there and also follow along with what we're going to talk about. So there you go. I am at our Equity Bank Park studio. Pat is out again today. You'll hear from him, but he's not here, but I am. It is July 22nd. Yes. July 22nd, 203rd day of the year, 162 days left in 2026. Headed for a high in Wichita today of 90 degrees, but there's a little bit of an east wind and it doesn't feel too bad out there. Certainly better than the last couple of days for sure. So enjoy it, Wichita. For late July, that'll do. All right, we'll get into the nuts and bolts of the show, tell you what we're going to talk about and who we're going to talk to here in just a minute. But first, Jack has got our moment of levity. We start every show with a little joke, and Jack tries to make us laugh. Go for it.
I only drink on 2 occasions all year long. One being on my birthday, and the second being on days that are not my birthday.
I like it. Question. Have you ever laid down in a hammock?
Oh, yeah.
It's National Hammock Day.
Okay.
So I think those things are kind of overrated. A little tough to get into, a little tough to get out of. But, if you can negotiate it successfully, yeah, hammock's pretty cool. Mango Day is today also. It's the birthday of Danny Glover. It's Roger Murtaugh in the Lethal Weapon films, among others. He was in one of the Predator movies, at least. Danny Glover is 80. Man. Willem Dafoe, another actor. Born on the 4th of July, the Spider-Man movies, Platoon, among others. His born day is today, too. There you go. There's July 22nd for you. And, of course, nowadays, if it's July in Wichita, that means it's basketball season. Just kidding. But it kind of is, because TBT is going on. And more on that in a moment, because we got TBT on our airways tonight with our very own Pat Strathman leading the way. More on that in a second. But because of that, we will talk a little Aftershocks basketball with one of the Aftershocks veterans and one of the few former Jayhawks and Shockers throughout the course of basketball history. Connor Frankamp will join us on the hotline coming up in the next segment. We will talk about the enchantment, one game away from moving on to the next round, getting closer to $2 million payout, and all of the teams that he has played for overseas. We'll talk about all that as it's hard to believe, the 31-year-old Connor Frankamp will join us coming up at 12:25 or so. Twitter question is, about 40 minutes away, something like that. It has to do with the ESPN layoffs that I'm sure you've been reading about lately. So we'll revisit that or visit that at ESPN Wichita on Twitter coming up here in a little bit. And then 1 o'clock, Jack and I will take a little sneak peek forward, about 5 or 6 weeks. We are going to reveal a couple of games in college football, week 1 or 0 or whatever you want to call it, late August, early September, week 1 football games that we're looking forward to and why, and maybe why you should put it on your radar too. So as we get closer to the end of July, got to acknowledge it's almost football season. Training camps start in a handful of NFL places, including Kansas City's, and college football kind of right around the corner too. So a little college football talk mixed in at 1 o'clock. And then back to baseball at 1:25, a guy that since he's been promoted from Cedar Rapids to the Wind Surge, just as hot as could be, Caden Kendall, outfielder for the Surge, will join in second hour. And they played a doozy last night. They won 4-1. Wind Surge did. They've now won 5 straight. But it was far more interesting than the final score would indicate. And we'll talk to Caden Kendall about that, talk about his time here in Wichita and in the Midwest. He's a California guy. So how does he feel about the Midwest? We'll talk to him and get his thoughts on his hot start. He's hit in all 9 games since he's been promoted to AA Wichita. So we'll talk to him, 1:25. And then I'm old Jack Young at the end of the show. Again, normally when Pat's here, we have a little crosstalk with him and tune you up for the Pulse coming up from 2 to 4. But he is I believe he's in Topeka today, as they will have game 2 of TBT between the KU alumni team and the K-State alumni team. Purple Rain won last night in Manhattan. They will do battle at Lee Arena tonight in Topeka at 7 o'clock right here on ESPN Wichita 92.3 FM. So you heard Pat and Stan Weber last night deliver the play-by-play at 8 o'clock, and they'll do it again tonight at 7 o'clock in Topeka at Lee Arena on the campus of Washburn University. So play-by-play for TBT again tonight. And then tomorrow back to Wind Surge play-by-play as they take on Midland. That'll be game 3 by then of that series. And Surge at that point, hopefully will be going for 7 in a row, trying to make a move in the second half of the Texas League. And then coming up on Friday, we will be at T&W Tire up north of town. We will be celebrating their Customer Appreciation Day It's in Park City. Be doing my show out there. So come by and see us. They'll be really celebrating from 11 to 2. They'll have food, they'll have drinks, they have prize giveaways, they'll have drawings, they got oil change specials, all kinds of stuff. T&W Tire, our very latest friends and family here at ESPN Wichita 92.3 FM. So I will be out there doing my shows from Park City. T&W remote, T&W Tires, coming up on Friday. All right. So last night, the Royals won a kind of a knockdown drag out, really, between themselves and the Giants. They're a pretty similar team. The teams are in that they're struggling to find their footing this year, struggling to find out what they have the rest of the year, and also into 2027. But they win again last night, 3-2. And it seems like every win that they have has some sort of little asterisk by it, or they had to grip the whole way. And last night was no different. They did make, though, a 2-run 6th inning stand-up. Got a little hairy here and there, but for the most part, the pitching held it together, and save for a throwing error by Tyler Tolbert, it was a pretty clean game. The Royals win 3-2. They win yet another series. They'll go for the sweep today, as a matter of fact. Playing a day game, getaway day for San Francisco before the Royals take on the Tigers heading into the weekend. It'll be Seth Lugo trying to complete the sweep today. But as per usual, there's always something going on with the Royals in 2026. And sure enough, some more adversity hit the Royals last night and today. And it seems like, Jack, for every bit of good news, like Luinder Avila's great outing, the outing that we were both looking for from him, where he had command, control, composure, soft contact, all that stuff, high strikeout number, all that happened last night. But prior to, Bobby Witt Jr. was not in the lineup due to a balky lower back spasms, couldn't get loose, so he was held out again. During the game, Jack Caglione injured himself diving for a fly ball, tweaked his right shoulder a little bit. He ended up having to come out of the game. As it turns out, though, the guy that replaced him was a big part of the reason why the Royals won, Isaac Collins. And then just recently, today, a couple of bits of news and notes. They put Bobby on the IL and recalled Andrew Velasquez. I got to be honest, I had to look him up. He's 32. He was at AAA. He's bounced around a little bit over the last handful of years. Hasn't been in the big leagues since 2023, I think. He's been in the International League. He's played in Puerto Rico. He's been in the Yankees organization. He's been in the Arizona organization. And he had been spending most of the year at Omaha. And, well, had 63 plate appearances in Omaha. So he gets promoted to fill a roster spot vacated by Bobby Witt Jr. going on the IL. Also, Cameron Meisner, it was announced, was designated for assignment. And the Royals also made a trade. They traded with the Astros to acquire 29-year-old hard-throwing right-hander Nate Pearson, who just had a bit of a cup of coffee with the Astros this year, 20 innings with them. And so the Royals claimed him, well, traded for, he was DFA'd, and sent a A-ball pitcher to Houston in exchange. So the patchwork bullpen continues to, I don't even want to say take shape, because it really isn't. It's an island of misfit toys right now, and they're trying to throw stuff up against the wall and see what sticks. And Nate Pearson eventually will have the next shot at it, whenever that is. That remains to be seen. Again, he's 29, the former first rounder of the Blue Jays, talking about Nate Pearson, and Andrew Velasquez, originally a draft pick by the Diamondbacks. Again, he's no spring chicken, but you got to fill the roster somehow, somewhere, in some way, and a little bit of trimming of the fat maybe is coming over the coming weeks when it comes to DFAing guys, sending them out, and trying somebody else. So I know that's a lot to digest, Jack, but you've been up on all that as it's been happening. And last night's game aside, it's always nice to win, but really it's way beyond wins and losses with its team now, because it's pretty much all about, even though you like to see them win in the micro, it's all about building towards 2027 and deciding what is most important to add. And we've talked about this multiple times. The rotation's going to have to be overhauled because you can't assume full health of really any of those guys coming in 2027. And we know the bullpen is in shambles, so that's part of the reason why they traded for Nate Pearson. There are a couple of mainstays down there, but they're not probably much longer for this team. When you talk about John Schreiber and maybe Daniel Lynch, I don't know, they're probably not too eager to deal Daniel Lynch, but everybody's got a price. So all that being said, Jack, the 3-2 win, nobody really was left to bask in the glow of that for very long because of the IL stint for Bobby and then the trade, and we have to try to process all this. Meanwhile, here in about an hour, they'll go for a sweep against the lowly Giants. So you like the Nate Pearson trade, and a texter does too. Tell me why you do, Jack.
Oh, power. I mean, that's really the main takeaway you have here. I would not be opposed to the Royals doing about 5 more of these deals for players that are DFA'd and guys that are maybe stuck on AAA rosters. And
I've been waiting for them to claim people off other people's scrap heaps, you know?
Yeah. It's funny because it doesn't make sense at all, but baseball rarely makes sense. The best way to build a bullpen is not going into the offseason and saying, let's give this guy a 3-year deal. Let's give this guy a 2-year deal.
Nobody does that.
Nobody does that anymore. Why? Because it's like a running back position in the NFL. Like eventually you probably do want to overpay in the same way the Chiefs gave Kenneth Walker a big time deal. It's like, okay, when it gets really bad, let's just maybe skip a couple of the steps here and let's get a premier guy.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of what the Royals did with Estevez. It was, we need to find a closer because, yes, Lucas Erceg was really good, but we view him as a fireman. We need that 9th inning guy. And I thought for the most part, that Estevez deal worked out in year 1. Hasn't worked out in year 2, but hey, you have 1 year where he led the league in saves. But other than that, your bullpen is supposed to be about finding scraps somewhere and turning them into gold. It happens all the time. It happens every week, Shane. I mean, yeah, like Jonathan Bolin was a good piece for the Royals, but the Phillies viewed him as an awesome piece.
Yeah.
It worked out for them. I remember the Mariners viewed Gabe Spire as a great piece. The Royals let him walk, and they turned him into a really good piece.
Sure did.
Some guys work out, some don't. I mean, Jackson Kowar was somebody the Royals let walk, or they traded him to, I believe it was Atlanta. It didn't work out in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Didn't work out in Seattle. Like, it happens, but that shouldn't deter you from doing it. Because here's the reality, the Nate Pearson thing. He might come in and be terrible. He might come in and get bombed, and you go, man, that guy's really not good. And you move on from him. I doubt they'd move on from him that quickly because you did give up a prospect other than just cash considerations, right? So I would expect him to maybe be in this bullpen for the rest of the year. And he's 29. He averages nearly 98 miles an hour with his fastball. He's fastball slider, where maybe you say, let's throw that slider more, or let's use that curveball more. Let's ditch the changeup that you have. Clearly the Royals like him for some reasons other than he throws hard. But here would be my path for the second half of the season. You're going to be moving on from John Schreiber. You're going to be moving on from Matt Strom. I would guess that Nate Pearson joins this team tomorrow, and Eli Morgan is sent back down to AAA. They did DFA Cameron Meisner to make room, either for him or maybe it was to make room for Velasquez. But they also put Kolek on the 60-day, which then opens up a 40-man spot. So I'm guessing that Meisner was DFA'd so that you can add a guy like Nate Pearson to your 40-man and then your 26-man roster. My goal, though, would be, why don't we get all 8 guys in this bullpen averaging 95 and up? Okay, well, there's a couple that you already have. Steven Cruz averages nearly 99. Beck Way averages nearly 99. I know he's not in the good graces of fans, but Lucas Ursig throws hard.
Right.
Daniel Lynch doesn't throw exceptionally hard, but I just looked it up. He averages 94.6. Let's just round that up to an even 95, and he's been the best reliever in that bullpen. So you're not moving on from him.
You can't discount that.
No, and then you got Nate Pearson, who averages 97.5 with his fastball. So there's 4 guys right there. How are you or Alex Lang's another one. He averages north of 96. I'm sure he's not going anywhere because either his trade value is not that good, or the Royals say, hey, we really
somebody's got to close.
Somebody's got to close, and I would imagine they are paying attention to that extra year that he has.
Okay.
And, maybe they really like the stuff, and a year from now we're saying, thank goodness they held on to Alex Lang. I can't imagine that's a world that exists, but hey, I'm not in that front office. I don't know those discussions. But there's 5 guys right there. There's 5 guys that throw 95 and up. I would look for 3 more guys between now and the deadline or the waiver wire that you can pick up and throw in that bullpen. Because you just don't need Matt Strahm throwing innings anymore.
No, you sure don't.
You need to move John Schreiber for sure because he's pitching pretty well this year. And
sooner rather than later because he's pitching lights out right now.
And you know what? He was hitting 96 last night. So wow. I would try to move a guy like that. Not because the velocity's up, but it's because he's a rental, and somebody's going to want that help in the bullpen. I would try to get all 8 guys in that bullpen throwing hard because that's the way you start this thing. You can work with the velocity. I've always thought the stupidest thing I saw a big league team do was the Nationals, and maybe this is a bit of a stretch. I'm just being dramatic, but it fits my point.
Yeah, that's you.
They put some sign in their spring training bullpen that said, "We don't care how hard you throw ball 4."
I've said that before.
It's the old, old school 1960s, 1970s style of baseball of, back then I knew guys that threw 86 and had great control. And yeah, that was great for that era. But if you're telling me you don't care that somebody throws that hard, it means you're a terrible pitching coach because that means you can't harness his fastball. Like nobody in their right mind would take 90 miles an hour let's be real. Nobody throwing 90 miles an hour in today's game has Greg Maddux control. None.
And none of them are coming out of the bullpen if they do.
No.
Yeah.
So to hear your organization say, we don't care how hard you throw ball 4, okay, technically that is a true statement. If you're walking the house, okay, but shouldn't you be able to have a pitching coach that can
teach him how to throw strikes?
Fastball?
Yeah.
It's not like you're trying to ask him to harness 120 that no human has ever done before. Yeah. The Royals need to take that approach of, hey, kid, you throw 99. Let's see what we got here. Beck Way is anybody that thought Beck Way was going to be in this bullpen in July would be lying. If I were to say that in spring training, I would be lying. Nobody thought that Beck Way could do that. And Beck Way has not been perfect. But Beck Way has a 3.05 ERA in 20 games because he throws really hard and because that stuff moves. And it's harder for hitters to hit stuff that moves at that speed. Nate Pearson's the same way here. Lucas Ursig, I get it. I know why people don't want him here anymore, but I promise you this, you let him go, he goes elsewhere. Somebody's going to get him back to form. You need to be the team that does it. And I will always work with velocity. A season like this, a bullpen like this, I want somebody going out there breathing fire. And if you lose that game because they walk 2 and give up a blooper, I'm taking that over watching Matt Strahm go out there and walk a guy and then give up a 470-foot bomb on an 85-mile-an-hour Hammond Swiss special. I don't want to see that, right? I'd rather see somebody breathing fire and you go down sawing off bats and maybe missing by an inch or 2. But look, Nate Pearson, I hope it's the first of many. I hope at the trade deadline they're looking for guys that are just outside the 26-man roster because, Shane, I'm trying to be realistic. You're not getting a top 100 prospect for Lane Thomas. You're not getting one for Starling Marte or John Schreiber or Matt Strahm. You're getting guys that people are saying, we don't have a spot for him. We don't have an opening for this guy to be in our rotation or our bullpen or our bench. That's where the Royals come in and say, this guy's big league ready. We can see what he has. And bullpen guys are the way you got to go because those guys have the highest percentage of actually becoming something rather than some bat you get that's in AAA that's 29 years old and maybe hitting 260. That's not going to be a big league ball player for you in 2027.
Yeah, it's about time the Royals started to go dumpster diving a little bit. Take another cast-offs. See how good you can coach him up. All right. When we return, we'll talk a little Aftershocks. They're going to be back at it tomorrow at Charles Koch Arena against the Enchantment, trying to put them away. And a veteran guard of the Aftershocks and professional basketball and a former Shocker and Jayhawk will join us on the hotline when we come back. Connor Frankamp on the hotline next.
You're listening to the Shane Dennis Show on ESPN Wichita, 92.3 FM.
You know, when you're craving some scratch-made food, 29-degree draft beer, and best seat in the house for every game, there's only one place to go, Twin Peaks. They got juicy burgers, smoked in-house wings, ice-cold brews served by the friendliest team around, too. And Twin Peaks, your ultimate sports lodge, especially for UFC, college football coming up, Major League Baseball, those matinee games, that's made for Twin Peaks. Wall-to-wall TVs mean you never have to miss a moment. So grab your crew, head into Twin Peaks, where the view is always great, the food hits hard, and the beer is always super cold. And by the way, we will be out at Twin Peaks West April 7th. That's a Friday. We always celebrate a Friday once a month at the Twin Peaks, either east or west. We'll be out west to celebrate the beginning of August. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
Sean Tarbell here in Wichita. It's hot out there, but the deals at Davis Moore Chevrolet, they're even hotter. We just loaded a lot with the biggest selection of new and pre-owned Chevys in town, and we're not playing around this summer. Right now, get 0% financing and no payments until October, or save up to $11,000 off MSRP on a new 2026 Chevy Silverado 4x4 Crew Cab. Turn ahead this summer with a new 2026 Chevy Equinox and get 0% for 36 months. Together, let's drive at Davis Moore Chevrolet, located under the big American flag in Kellogg and Tyler. Check us out online at davis-moorechevrolet.com. All offers plus tag, title, tax, and administrative fees expire August 3rd, 2026.
What's better than going to Brahms? Going and ordering.
The onion and jalapeno cheeseburger, please.
Brahms' new onion and jalapeno cheeseburger. A Brahms fresh baked bun, layered with a 100% beef patty cooked to perfection. Melted American cheese, tangy yellow mustard, topped with cooked jalapenos and onions. Every bite leaves you thinking,
dang, that's good.
Brahms' new onion and jalapeno cheeseburger or chicken sandwiches for a limited time at your neighborhood Brahms.
Hey, it's Shane from ESPN Wichita 92.3 FM, and you're invited to TNW Tire's Customer Appreciation Open House on Friday from 11 to 2 at 8100 North Broadway in Park City. Be the Shane Dennis Show live out there from noon to 2, so come out, say hello, meet the team, learn about their services, enjoy some free food, and register for some great prizes, too, including a brand new set of tires and much more. Mark your calendar for Friday, July 24th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at TNW Tire, 8100 North Broadway in Park City. We'll see you there. It is Don Henley's born day. It's Dirty Laundry from back in the day. It's 12:28 here on a Wednesday. Coming up tomorrow at Charles Koch Arena, the Aftershocks. We're trying to put the finishing touches on the Enchantment, the New Mexico alumni team, and TBT. And they took one big step in trying to defend their crown and another step toward winning some more dough. $2 million this year. And one of the mainstays of the Aftershocks joins us on the hotline right now. Also a former Jayhawk and a former Shocker, Connor Frankamp, joins us on the phone. Connor, good to catch up with you. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me on.
My pleasure. Am I keeping you off the golf course?
No, you're not. Actually, I'm not playing today, unfortunately.
All right. For those who don't know, Connor's a really good golfer, too. And mainstay of the Aftershocks. Connor, take us back to the first time that you were approached by whomever it was. I assume it'd be Zach Bush or somebody like that, about playing on the Aftershocks and the basketball tournament and all of that, all the things that go along with that and the uniqueness of the tournament. Can you remember the first conversations that you ever had about this?
I honestly cannot remember the first conversation. I feel like it's been going on for a long time now. But I know Zach was a part of it from the jump. And I'm really shocked to see, and obviously excited to see how far it's come since our first conversation. I think this is our 8th year now, I think. So it's really cool to see how it's evolved over the years, and all the guys we've had come to play for us and do it this summertime.
And pretty much everybody on all these teams are pros from somewhere or have played professional basketball somewhere. I think maybe, Connor, and correct me if I'm wrong, one of the more interesting things to watch during the basketball tournament is the substitution patterns and the coaches' strategy in TBT. It's very unique, and it seems like Zach Bush has really latched onto that pretty easily, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's done a great job. And we've been so lucky this year, and especially last year, to be deep like we are. You know, we have 11 guys who could probably start for us. So we feel like that's a really big positivity for us on our team. Yeah.
So how many years is this for the playing on the Aftershocks for you?
I think this is the 8th year.
8th year.
I could
Wow.
be wrong on that, but I think it's the 8th year. Yeah.
Is that a standing invitation both ways? Like as long as there's Aftershocks, you're going to get an invite, and as long as there is, you're going to play for the Aftershocks, or is that going too far?
I'd kind of say so, yeah. You know, we obviously have discussions kind of early in the year about if we're going to come together and do it again. But, yeah, from what I understand, I think that's kind of how it is.
What about I want you to speak specifically about the new guys this year, and not only new guys to the Aftershocks, but new guys to TBT, Corey Washington being one of them. There were a couple of those guys off the bench that really took to the game like fish to water. Were you surprised at, for example, Corey Washington's game and how it translated to TBT? Because he was great.
Yeah, he was amazing. I guess I wasn't really super surprised. He's been playing really good all week in practice and everything, so we knew he had a ton of potential. But he had a great first game. You know, he kind of replaces what we had last year with Nike with athleticism and scoring and just kind of doing all of those things. So. It was really great to see him play well.
Talking to Connor Frankamp, Aftershocks guard, former Shocker guard as well. Won it all last year. $1 million prize to go around, 12, 13, 14 of you guys. Take us back to the championship game when you actually did win it all. What were the first couple of things that went through your mind, and how did it change your life, if at all, winning that kind of dough?
It was awesome. You know, everything kind of just worked out perfectly for us last year with us being able to host the entire thing with Kentucky losing kind of early. It kind of just set up perfect for us to make our run. You know, we've been close in recent years, and then last year it just worked out perfectly for us. We played really well too. We played well together and everything, but it was pretty surreal winning that and winning that type of money just, you know, in a 2-week span or something like that. So it was really cool. And it also gave us plenty of confidence to know that we can do it. So hopefully we can make another run this year for us.
How many Elam Enders have you been personally responsible for? Because I can remember at least one. Have you had more than one?
I want to say 2 or 3. I think I had a layup one time, then I had that one shot. It could be 2. I'm not exactly sure on that, to be honest with you.
It is at least 2, because one was that kind of improbable double team in the backcourt where you had the steal and layup. There was one, right? And then I think you hit a 3 to end another one.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right.
Connor Frankamp joining us. The Aftershocks taking on the Enchantment tomorrow night at Charles Koch Arena. Were you surprised at all, Connor, at the relative ease in which you handled those guys the other night? Because you guys were really clicking.
A little bit, yeah. We didn't know much about this team. I think they had some guys drop out like the day before we played them. So we didn't have much film, or we didn't scout too much on them because we just didn't know much about them. But I was pretty surprised with the way we played our first game. You know, the first game can sometimes be kind of rough, but I thought we played really well together and had some really great stretches. So hopefully we can just continue that for tomorrow.
Is there a recurring theme year to year in the way you ought to play to win TBT, or does it depend on personnel?
I think a little bit of both. Obviously, you know, it's really important for us to play good defense, and then just to share the ball and not get stagnant and not fall into just playing one-on-one on the offensive end. But if we get stops and rebound, then we think we can compete with anybody in this.
Connor Frankamp, my guest, and I think maybe something that gets lost in all this, Connor, the teams that do the best and go the farthest are the ones, and you touched on it, the ones that rebound and play defense. And we get caught up in the threes because you guys and everybody else shoots a lot of threes. It's an up and down. It's very much a professional type game. But because you guys have guys like Rashard Kelly and others that don't mind, and Mo Deze, he's a first timer too. They don't mind rebounding. They don't mind guarding for more than 5 or 6 seconds. And sometimes that's all it takes, right?
Yeah, 100%. Like you said, some of these teams just just want to play one-on-one and shoot threes. But we feel like we're kind of unique to have those guys who rebound and, play really good defense, kind of what Wichita State's been all about. So it's great to have those guys on our team.
So the last couple of years, I'm going to try to run down your professional career and all the countries that you've played in, and try not to leave anybody out. First of all, the last couple of years, Poland, correct?
I was in Poland last year. Yep, that was the most recent year. Yep, last year.
You've also been to Romania, Spain, Turkey, Russia, and Greece. Spain again, Greece again, Bulgaria, and then Wichita State before that. Did I leave anything out?
I was in, you got all of those right, and then I was in Taiwan. The year I was in Romania, I was in Taiwan before I went over to Romania. So, yep, you got pretty much everything right, just missing Taiwan.
Did you ever, in your wildest dreams, in your last year at Wichita State, think that you would have so many stamps on your passport like that?
I honestly did not. I had no idea that, I would travel this much and get to see the world like I did. But, I'm really thankful for it. And it's something that I'm very grateful for.
We all remember where we were during the pandemic. I bet you that the pandemic shut down your season wherever you were. Where were you?
Yep. I was in Greece. That was my second year pro. I was in Greece, and it shut down. I want to say February, and then we went home early March, I want to say. And then that next year I went to Spain, and we played with no fans there, and we had to take a COVID test every single day. So yeah, that's where I was at.
Jeez. All those places, any of those places, none of those places, translator?
In Taiwan, we had a translator, but the other places, no. Most of the cities were big enough that people spoke enough English where you could get by. So, and then obviously I have Google Translate on my phone, so that came in touch for me a lot of the time.
Oh, cheat sheet. Nice. Connor Frankamp joining us. The Aftershocks and the Enchantment tomorrow night at Charles Koch Arena. Probably had to make you kind of tug at your heartstrings a little bit on your way to the 2025 TBD Championship when the crowds got bigger and bigger at Charles Koch Arena, taking you back to your days at Wichita State, right? Especially that championship game where it was almost full. There were 9,000 people there. That had to feel great.
Oh, yeah, that was amazing. Like you said, it felt just like the old days. It was so cool to have those fans come out and support us and for us to play well in front of them. Yeah, it was pretty crazy to run out and see, 9,000 fans for a summer game in August, whenever it was, early August. Yeah.
So I got to ask you, you're now 31. You just turned 31, right? A week ago?
Yeah. Yep. A week ago. Yeah. 6 days ago.
Yeah. So how much longer in Connor Frankamp's professional career? As long as you're able, or is there an end in sight?
I really don't have a certain number set in my head. I kind of wish I could convince myself to have a set number in my head, but I feel pretty healthy right now. So I'll definitely play, next year for sure. And then, at this point, I'm kind of just taking it year by year, to be honest with you.
Connor Frankamp, my guest. The Aftershocks trying to go back to back, trying to double their money this year. $2 million purse is on the line. How do you feel about the tweaked bracket? It's a little bit different formats, not single elimination anymore, at least not right now. And there's quite a few fewer teams. You got alumni teams and quote unquote non-alumni teams. Guess you got to kind of hand it to TBT for trying a little bit of everything from one year to the next to keep this tournament going, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's kind of cool how they switch things up kind of year by year. But this year is so much different. Like you said, only 16 teams. And then if we're able to win tomorrow night, then we'll only have to win 5 total games to win it all. Last year, I think we had to win 6. So, that plays a big part. And the series started, the best of 3 series for the first round is kind of different. But yeah, I think it's interesting to see how they kind of change it up every single year.
Frankamp, a transfer from Kansas, went to Wichita State after that, finished his career at WSU, was third team All-Valley as a junior. Maybe some of your most memorable games at the Roundhouse, or maybe otherwise, you had good Valley tournament one year. Some of the games that stick out to you at Wichita State looking back.
obviously winning the Valley was really cool out in St. Louis. We had a lot of pretty big wins my senior year. I think we were ranked number 4 in the country at one point. So there were a lot of really good wins, and obviously it was just great to be with those guys during that time. You know, I have long-standing friendships with all those guys. It's kind of hard to pick out a certain game that really stands out. Yeah, it was just a great time.
Connor, continued good health. Good luck tomorrow and beyond, and we'll catch up with you again soon. Thanks for taking the time.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys.
All right. Connor Frankamp, my guest, former Shocker, former Jayhawk, and honestly, you can't say that about too many basketball players throughout the years. Greg Dryling's the only other one that I can think of, but Connor started his college career at KU and finished it at Wichita State, and then he has been a mainstay for the Aftershocks as they laid a thumping on the Enchantment the other night. 98-77 was the final. And he kind of hit on it just a little bit, that part of the reason maybe why the Enchantment wasn't up for the task, as they had a couple of players drop out late. One of them being Donovan Dent, but I don't know how much of a difference even he would have made, because the way that the Aftershocks rebounded and were a little bit of it seemed like half step ahead of the Enchantment all the time. They just played better energy, quicker, and certainly their defensive effort and their rebounding, that still matters, even in a up and down pro style game like TBT is. But it'll be interesting to see if the Enchantment has anything for the Aftershocks tomorrow. Not that they can't hang around and force a game 3, but it sure didn't look like it the other night with the way the Aftershocks came out. And in hindsight, the way Enchantment came out, they looked like they were not on the same level as the Aftershocks in virtually any way. But we'll see if that was fool's gold or if there's going to be more of the same tomorrow at Charles Koch Arena. All right, it's 12:42. I want to remind you, speaking of TBT, before we get off of that, you heard the KU alumni game and the K-State alumni team game. Purple Rain is what K-State's alumni team's called. They won that game last night, and you heard it right here on the channel. It was a great job by our very own Pat Strathman and Stan Weber. They were on the call last night, and Pat will be on the call again tonight. The venue changes, so does the start time. It'll be 7 o'clock tonight with coverage starting at 6:45 right here on ESPN Wichita 92.3 FM. And by the way, simulcast on Sports Radio 810 WHB up in KC. So TBT tonight, and then tomorrow, getting back to our airwaves, 92.3 FM, Surge will be back on the radio. They and Midland will have their third game of that series Thursday night, 6:50 for the coverage beginning, 7:05 first pitch. Surge won last night 4-1. We will talk more about that in hour number 2. And then, as you may have heard on the promo just a little bit ago, on Friday, we will be out at T&W Tires. We'll be doing a remote out there in Park City. That's north of town, in Park City. We invite you to come by, see us, see them, meet them. If you haven't yet, it's their Customer Appreciation Day. So coinciding with our remote out there is Customer Appreciation Day. So they're going to have food, they're going to have drinks, they're going to have giveaways. They're going to be giving away brand new coolers to some lucky folks, and also a brand new set of tires too. And who couldn't use a brand new set of tires, especially for free? But T&W Tires is the place to be. It's in Park City. That's where we'll be on Friday and getting you ready for the weekend. Speaking of, on Saturday, we'll have Big League Baseball for you ahead of WindSurge Baseball. It'll be Arizona and Washington on Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock. And then the Surge will take center stage 5:50 for the pregame on Saturday for the WindSurge. And then the Surge will wrap up the series against Midland 1 o'clock on Sunday. And then we'll have Sunday night baseball, the Phillies and the Yankees, on Sunday night, the 26th. All right, time now for the Twitter question. You probably have heard by now that ESPN has been laying off some pretty high level and pretty high visibility people over the last couple of days. We'll talk about that. And that's part of the Twitter question, too, brought to you by Rubik Computers. We'll discuss and examine when we come back. It is 12:44.
The Shane Dennis Show will be right back, on ESPN Wichita, 92.3 FM.
The Summer Ball Showdown is back and better than ever. The Summer Ball Showdown, presented by Portalite Pitching Mounds, is the nation's largest and only national baseball tournament that connects college, prep, and adult baseball teams to compete for a purse in one division to be crowned national champions. You can be a part of the action as well by signing up for the Wiffle Ball Tournament, the Home Run Derby, watch fireworks, and so much more. Catch the action at Genesis Sports Complex, July 29th through August 2nd. It's the Summer Ball Showdown.
What do people with blindness or low vision need to live to the fullest? Just ask them. It's skill development, scientific breakthroughs, knowledge-based jobs, and the same opportunities as everyone else. When you give to Envision, whether it be your time, donations, or your engagement, you make it all possible. That's because at Envision, they don't focus on the disability. They value the ability. They choose not to envision a world without sight, but to envision a world where people who are blind or visually impaired are empowered to reach their full potential. Learn more at envisionus.com.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue. Hog Wild, get some for you.
Asking my favorite Hog Wild menu item would be like asking who is your favorite child. It's impossible. While I love all of our award-winning barbecue options, I've got a real soft spot for the Carolina pulled pork sandwich. Hi, I'm Josh Wissing, Hog Wild partner and general manager at 47th and South Broadway. I love turning customers onto the Carolina pulled pork sandwich. We serve our tender, slow-smoked pulled pork on a soft bun and pile it high with tangy coleslaw. There's nothing else on the menu like it. The added bonus, you still get to have a side dish like curly fries or baked beans. When you're craving familiar, but in the mood for something new, Hog Wild's Carolina pulled pork sandwich is the answer.
Order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 6 locations in Wichita, also in Derby, El Dorado, Hutchinson, and Salina.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue. Hog Wild, get some for you. But don't be late, we close at 8.
All right, team, heads up. Whether you're stepping up to the plate, hitting the court, or just taking on your day, confidence matters, and nothing boosts your confidence like a strong, healthy smile. At Cambridge Family Dentistry, they deliver all-star care for the whole family, from routine cleanings to cosmetic treatments, helping you look and feel your best every single day. Don't sit on the sidelines with your smile. Cambridge Family Dentistry, your hometown team for a winning smile. Schedule your appointment today at CambridgeFamilyDentist.com. Broadstroke is your locally owned one-stop shop since 1985 for all your print, mail, and promo needs. We'll print your brochures, business cards, letterhead, and banners, and put your logo on stickers, vehicles, and windows, and handle your mailings and mail pickup. We do promotional items like pens, bags, and swag, and apparel like shirts, polos, and hats, too. Broadstroke is your solution to enhance your company's brand. Give us a call at 316-247-5323 or visit our website at broadstrokeinc.com.
Get ready for a new NFL season with the best coverage of Chiefs training camp on ESPN Wichita, 92.3 FM.
As a competitor, I want to be out there with my guys.
It looks like he's going to be able to do some things during camp.
The biggest thing for me now is kind of getting to the running and cutting, and I've started that stuff.
From training camp to the Super Bowl, Wichita's best Chiefs coverage. ESPN Wichita, 92.3 FM.
Took you like a shot, thought that I could chase you with a cold evening. Let a couple years water down how I'm feeling about you. And every time we talk, every single word builds up to this moment.
Selena Gomez born day is today. Shane and Jack with you here for another hour plus a little bit. Then we'll hand you off to the Pulse with Pat. He's in Topeka today, but the Pulse will come your way from 2 to 4, just ahead of the basketball tournament, game 2 between the Jayhawks and the Wildcats alumni team and TBT. Purple Rain won last night 80-61 on the back of Michael Beasley. So listen to that tonight at 7 o'clock, coverage starting at 6:45. And Pat will tell you all about it, I'm sure, coming up at 2 o'clock or thereabouts when the Pulse comes your way from 2 to 4. Coming up here in just a little bit, we'll have some college football talk. We'll also talk to a red hot and semi-brand new Wind-Surge outfielder. Caden Kendall will join us on the hotline coming up in about a half an hour or so. The Wind-Surge are hot, so is he. He's hit in 9 straight. The Wind-Surge have won 5 straight. They won last night 4-1. So we'll talk more about the Wind-Surge and their hot play lately with one of their outfielders, Caden Kendall, the pride of UC Irvine. Talk to him at 1:25. But right now, we need to check out the Twitter question or the X question. And it's brought to you today by Rivet Computers. Hey, Wichita, you got a broken phone, cracked screen, dead battery, not charging, whatever it is, Rivet Computers has you covered. They have been Wichita's go-to for fast, affordable phone repairs for over 20 years. And most fixes are done same day. Walk-ins are always welcome. Don't wait days or spend a fortune. Hop into Rivet Computers and get your phone back up and running today. Question. You may have heard by now that ESPN has been laying off quite a bit of their talent. And it's kind of a yearly thing in the summertime. The company said goodbye to some old familiar faces and names. For sure. It's been kind of a tradition in recent years as ESPN tries to negotiate its way into the digital age, 2026, and balancing not only skyrocketing football contracts, how they're going to pay their own talent. They got rising rights fees for the cost of talent. Cable bundles going the way of the dinosaur. So anyway, because of all that, in past years, you may have recalled, they laid off Jeff Van Gundy, Mark Jackson, RG3, among others. And then this year, it has been announced over the last couple of days that ESPN president Jimmy Pitaro cited an examination of the network's overall business model after the equity deal with the NFL. And in exchange for ownership stake where the NFL now owns 10% of ESPN, the network has taken over NFL Network and other media assets of the league. And naturally, that's going to lead to what Pitaro called, quote, difficult decisions, end of quote. But the layoffs weren't just NFL Network and other longtime employees. They were let go through the company, including many who have served the network for decades, including Carl Ravitch. It came out a couple of days ago that he is one of those that is the victim of attrition, I guess. It's been reported by multiple different outlets that this list of ESPN employees have been part of the 2026 layoffs. Carl Ravitch was one. After 33 years with ESPN, he also just called the Dodgers-Phillies game on Monday night. And by the next day, his name was floated out there as one who'd been laid off. So hard to say if he knew that Dodgers-Phillies game would be his last. But to hear him call the last out, you certainly wouldn't know it by that because he didn't say anything about it. And didn't even have any cryptic little, what did he just say, comments at the end of the game. He just called it like business as usual. He joined the network in 1993. He was longtime host of Baseball Tonight. To me, that's where his niche was. I got my thoughts on Carl Ravitch overall, but I thought Baseball Tonight was his jam. But he most recently had been play-by-play baseball, College World Series, otherwise. Also had a little run at Little League World Series, I think. And then Ryan Clark, arguably the hottest topic type name to be laid off from ESPN, actually broke while he was on the air at NFL Live on Monday. So you can draw your own conclusions, whether that's ethical by the company or not, to let a guy know that he's out during a commercial. But those are the reports that happened to Ryan Clark. Also, a little bit of an under-the-radar guy, one of the longest tenure anchors, David Lloyd, is also out. I thought he was really good. And Stefania Bell, for you fantasy gurus out there, and you watch fantasy football now, Sunday mornings before kickoff on ESPN, you know, Stefania is the injury expert. She had been with the network since 2008. So she was a trailblazer, really, a pioneer in the injury business when it comes to fantasy advice. She was great. And if anybody knows anything about fantasy football and you watched her, I think you'd agree. Also, Cam Newton from First Take, who just signed a new multi-year contract in the summer of 2025, was cut. I would be dying to know what kind of settlement do you get if you're Cam Newton and you just signed a multi-year contract in 2025 and now you're out? And he's got another platform, though. He's got a podcast, and almost all these guys do. So is Ryan Clark. But also Charles Davis, Tom Pelissero. They are out. Bart Scott served ESPN as both a radio host in New York City and was in the studio from time to time. And a couple of others behind the camera that you probably hadn't heard of. But there's the list that ESPN has reportedly let go of. And with all that being said, we go to the Twitter machine at ESPN Wichita, and I ask which of the ESPN reported layoffs was most surprising. Carl Ravitch, Ryan Clark, Cam Newton, Bart Scott. Almost all of you said Carl Ravitch. 82% of you were most surprised with Carl Ravitch being the guy shown the door. A very distant second was Ryan Clark with 14% of the vote. Again, Carl Ravitch had been there 33 years. I don't know. I haven't looked. I suppose it's easily findable how much money he made, what kind of money he made as the lead broadcaster for Sunday Night Baseball, and how easy will it be for him to get another job. I got to imagine if he wants to keep working, he'll go to maybe MLB Network or anywhere else for that matter. Almost anywhere else. I won't say anywhere else because it's not like he's got this, wide variety of specialty, things that he's great at, because I don't know, to my knowledge, that he's done basketball or football or anything like that. But anyway, he was a very well-known guy at ESPN for sure. Started at Sports Center. Almost all those guys and gals started there. And his end of the line comes after 33 years. All right, there you go. So you can go to vote and repost at ESPN Wichita or Ribbit Computers Twitter question. We appreciate you doing that. We got one up there each and every day. So follow us. Make sure you follow us and vote and repost. We like to hear from you, especially write in on some of those Twitter questions, because they don't always deal with sports. Sometimes we have Twitter tournaments, and we appreciate and invite your feedback whenever you want. Okay, looking forward to tomorrow. We'll catch up with Jamie Bluma as we do every Thursday. Play a little GMG tomorrow too, as well. It'll be the last time for a while that we visit with Jamie Bluma, courtesy of American Shaman, Wichita American Shaman Derby. He's going to be going to Japan as part of a baseball trip a week from next Wednesday. So tomorrow will be the last time we catch up with him for quite a while. So we'll try to cram a lot into a little as we talk to Jamie at 1:25 every Thursday here on the program. And again, on Friday, don't forget, we're going to be on location, TNW Tires at Park City, out there from noon to 2 doing the show. They invite you out there from 11 to 2. It's Customer Appreciation Day at TNW Tires. We'll be doing the shows out there from TNW on Friday. When we return, hour number 2 awaits, and so does college football. Week 1 or opening weekend, however you want to put it, will come at the very end of August. Last weekend of August, We'll have college football, and Jack and I will weigh in on a couple of games each, what we're really looking forward to, and the reasons why. There aren't that many marquee matchups, but there are a couple. And we will, free of charge, tell you what those games are that you should keep your eyes peeled for come late August, early September. A little college football talk in hour number 2 coming your way straight ahead.
You're listening to the Shane Dennis Show on ESPN Wichita, 92.3 FM.
Celebrate America's 250th birthday at Crosswinds Casino. This July, play your favorite slots for a chance to win up to $300 in wins play. Join us every Thursday from 5 to 9 p.m., where one winner will be drawn every 30 minutes. And if you have the Crosswinds Casino app, you'll receive an additional $25 in wins play. Plus, on Sundays in July, swipe your club's wins card and get your 5 times entry accelerator. Crosswinds Casino. So close, so fun, so patriotic.
The Sunflower Showdown takes center stage at this year's New Look TBT. Frank Mason and Mario Chalmers lead the KU alumni team, Jayhawks Hoops, into another rivalry battle with Purple Rain, K-State's alumni squad, headlined by Michael Beasley and Jacob Poland. Game 2 tips off tonight at 7 o'clock from inside Lee Arena. Catch the broadcast starting at 6:45 with me, Pat Strathman, Stan Weber, and Daniel Courtwright. It's the basketball tournament on ESPN Wichita, 92.3 FM.
What do people with blindness or low vision need to live to the fullest? Just ask them. It's skill development, scientific breakthroughs, knowledge-based jobs, and the same opportunities as everyone else. When you give to Envision, whether it be your time, donations, or your engagement, you make it all possible. That's because at Envision, they don't focus on the disability. They value the ability. They choose not to envision a world without sight, but to envision a world where people who are blind or visually impaired are empowered to reach their full potential. Learn more at envisionus.com.
Hi, I'm Ben Farha, owner of Farha Roofing. Kansas weather can change in an instant. Hail, wind, and severe storms can leave your home vulnerable when you least expect it. That's where Farha Roofing comes in. Our trusted team provides professional inspections, quality workmanship, and guidance through the insurance claims process. If you think your roof may have been damaged, don't wait. Protect your biggest investment with the company Kansas homeowners trust. Schedule your free inspection today with Farha Roofing. Farha Roofing, we rise above the rest.
Sean Tarbell here in Wichita. It's hot out there, but the deals at Davis Moore Chevrolet, they're even hotter. We just loaded the lot with the biggest selection of new and pre-owned Chevys in town, and we're not playing around this summer. Right now, get 0% financing and no payments until October, or save up to $11,000 off MSRP on a new 2026 Chevy Silverado 4x4 Crew Cab. Turn ahead this summer with a new 2026 Chevy Equinox and get 0% for 36 months. Together, let's drive at Davis Moore Chevrolet, located under the big American flag in Kellogg and Tyler. Check us out online at davis-moorechevrolet.com. All offers plus tag title, tax, and administrative fees expire August 3rd, 2026.
Brian Adams. Roll with the Punches Tour 2026. A night full of hits. Live this Saturday at Intrust Bank Arena. With special guest Pat Benatar and Neil Giraldo. Get tickets now at selectaseat.com.
Wichita's home for the Dallas Cowboys. ESPN Wichita, 92.3 FM.
3rd and goal from the 5. Dak from the gun, drops back, flushed out. He's going to run left, and Dak Prescott waltzes in for the Cowboys touchdown.
Dallas Cowboys football can be heard right here. Go Cowboys.
Wichita's 100,000-watt powerhouse. ESPN Wichita, 92.3 FM. Wichita's sports leader. ESPN Wichita, 92.3 FM. KKGQ Newton.
Well, it should be playing. All right, I'm just going to pot you up.
Take my word for it. Rick Davies from Supertramp. There you go. He's eventually going to sing, although we probably won't hear it. Let's take the long way home. Good try, Jack. I guess I should have previewed that for you. But anyway, for those of a certain age, you know what Supertramp sounds like. They're amazing. And Rick Davies' born day today. College football talk now. Week 1, week 0, week whatever that you'd like to call it, is a little more than a month away from right now. Saturday, August 29th, we will have 8 Division I football games to feast our eyes upon, starting at 11 o'clock in the morning and ending up with a kick at 9 o'clock at night. So that will be a long time coming for a lot of us. And of that slate of games, and perhaps into Labor Day weekend, we can talk about some games that tickle our fancy a little, because the following Thursday, that August 29th is on a Saturday. That following Thursday, there will be 12 games to choose from there of varying FBS versus FCS games, etc. But there's some good ones in there. And then the following day, which is Friday, there's for 8 more games on Friday, September 4th, including Kansas. Get Jack's thoughts on that, I'm sure. And then Friday, September the 5th, a whole slew of games to whet our football appetites for the college football junkies out there. 3 more on Sunday, September 6th, and 1 on Monday, September 7th, involving SMU and Florida State. So we can bundle all those, I guess, if we want. But honestly, Jack, I think we can kind of pare it down to the first handful of games anyway, when it comes to Saturday, August 29th and Thursday, September 3rd. And I'll give you Friday, September 4th, because KU plays there then too. But the game I'm looking forward to, I don't know if it's the most, but the game I'm looking forward to the most intrigue because of what is to come for this team, perhaps, and their head coach, perhaps, is the very first one. It's going to be in Dublin, and it's North Carolina and TCU. Now, I'm no particular North Carolina fan. I think if you listen to this show a lot, especially during football season, you got my prediction maybe about a year ago at this time of what Bill Belichick would or wouldn't do for North Carolina football. But be that as it may, they play TCU, and, out of the Big 12, you got that kind of rooting interest perhaps, and big conference versus big conference matchup right out of the chute in Ireland. But not only will I be looking forward to seeing what North Carolina looks like this year, because in the ACC media days and a lot of the media scrums that Bill Belichick's been a part of, he's been quoted as saying they're so far ahead of where they were last year, and using phrases like night and day from 2025 until now. And that's all well and good. And maybe coach speak, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe he really believes it. Maybe it's really true. But it better be, because after TCU, they get a tune-up with East Tennessee State. And then their next four games after that, at Clemson, Notre Dame at home, and then back-to-back roadies at Pitt and Duke. So if North Carolina doesn't get off on the right foot against TCU, and if they're not so far ahead of where they were last year, and by the way, last year didn't go well. I think they were 4-8, if I'm not mistaken, in Belichick's first year. But if they don't beat East Tennessee, TCU, then they'll probably be 1-1 after they beat ETSU. And then 3 of the next 4 are on the road, and the next 2 are against Clemson at Death Valley and Notre Dame at home. So I don't know how particular hot, warm Luke, his seat would be if they lost to TCU. but you darn sure better throttle East Tennessee State. And the difference between 1-1 and 2-0 before you go to Clemson, probably not all that vital, but that TCU game would probably be a decent measuring stick and would, I don't know, kind of tee up the rest of their season, which to me could make or break before mid-October if they don't get their bleep together. And again, I'm no fan of North Carolina. I'm not necessarily looking for Bill Belichick to get his head lopped off either. But for some that had to endure getting beat over the head with the Patriots and all their Super Bowls and Bill Belichick's greatness and genius and all that stuff, this is a little bit of a comeuppance. And TCU is a touchdown favorite in that game. And so the very first game of the college football season will have most of my attention. I'll be honest. And just seeing what North Carolina, quote unquote, looks like. And, you know, this is maybe a bad parallel, but I'll make it anyway. You had Bill Belichick going from the NFL to college, would surprise a lot of us. And especially at his age, can he negotiate the NIL world and college football and still win at a high level? Well, year one, he showed it was harder than it looks. And the Royals fans out there, and Jack, myself, guys that are still watching the Royals, you see Tony Vitello seeing how the other half lives too. Now he's gone from college to MLB, but even though it's the same sport, it can be certainly viewed as quite a bit different animal for sure. So that's the one I'll be looking forward to. And it's kind of odd that, or ironic, I guess, that it's the very first game of the year, but North Carolina and TCU kicking off August 29th at 11 a.m. will have my attention. Jack, give me an early game that you can't wait for.
Well, definitely, you know, just spend a little bit of time on the one you just picked, but I'll also give you another one as well. UNC and TCU is the perfect one to kick off the season with. You know, last year we had K-State and Iowa State. That was big for a variety of reasons, but this year you get the Bill Belichick year 2 saga, and you get TCU, who I would say is maybe one of those sleeper teams in the Big 12. I'm honestly surprised that they are only a touchdown favorite. I really believe UNC's bad. And I love every bit of UNC being bad, not because I hate North Carolina football. I've never had a reason to. It's because I don't like Bill Belichick. And
I used to pull for them when Mac Brown was there. You know?
Yeah. No, but that was the guy who
Brown.
made a name for himself at UT. And didn't he go to UNC or go like it late in his career because his dad or something had the ties to UNC?
I can't remember exactly why.
On that?
And he kind of got railroaded, kind of got ran out of town too. Now he wasn't any younger, but
he was traded for, or not traded, excuse me. He was let go by Carolina, I believe, for no reason whatsoever. Like they got to that point where they believed they were much better than they really were and thought they were destined for more, and that kind of bit them in the butt. To me, I love seeing Bill Belichick go from this established, storied, decorated head coach to being the rodeo clown in the circus, right? Like he's at North Carolina getting smoked in the ACC. His 20-some-year-old girlfriend is causing issues in the athletic department, and has jokes being made of him. Now, does he care about it? Probably not. I'm sure that he knew, and dating a 20-some-year-old that is a bit of a, what would you say, a personality clash with a lot of people.
Perhaps.
He knew he was going to get some jokes about that, and I'm sure he doesn't care. But to me, it's like this, it's to me in some way of like this delicious revenge from him just dominating my team for years in the NFL. Like this comes with the territory of respect too. Like Bill Belichick made everybody's life miserable because he was so good. And he coached a Patriots team that always won, and they were the evil empire. And to see him now doing this, it to me is enjoyable. And I hope year 2 is way worse than year 1. I hope year 2's 0-12 or 1-11, and they get the brakes beat off of them.
I love
over
your
and over
pettiness,
again.
and you're not hiding it. I love
I
it.
hope it starts in Dublin. No, I absolutely hope it starts in Dublin. And I don't want TCU to be great because that certainly impacts KU because they play them later on in the season. But I got no problem with TCU beating them by 40 in Dublin because that only adds the other layer to this weird move that he had of going back to college in UNC and probably believing it was going to be much easier than it's really turned out to be. But just so we don't have to spend 20 minutes going over one game, I'm going to pivot to a couple here. Obviously, I got to go with my beloved Stanford Cardinal, beginning the Tavita Pritchard era in Palo Alto, the home-and-home series with Hawaii. Hawaii, who's trying to build off a really good year last year. And the only thing I hate, and we already discussed this, I hate it's a 6 p.m. kickoff. I don't know why you would have a 4 p.m. kickoff on the West Coast. But it's not like the attendance is going to be that great anyway. To me, this is going to be really interesting to follow from Stanford's perspective because they've seen Cal, who they beat last year in Palo Alto. They saw Cal have a couple of years in this new ACC, have some competitiveness, host a college game day, be a bowl-eligible team. And Stanford at one point, we know in the Andrew Luck era, the Harbaugh era, they were able to not run the Pac-12, but be a perennial contender, being somebody that could get to the Rose Bowl. And I thought for even in the years after that, right, Stanford was still a reputable top 25 team. And they have to be wondering if it's possible in the ACC. They're never going to be a top player just because in the NIL era, it doesn't really work that way at Stanford. Like Stanford has the lowest acceptance rate, I believe, of all Division I programs out there.
Yeah.
They're not going out there and swinging their weight around with Alabama and Texas and Notre Dame. They're not going to be able to do that. Even in their own conference, you got Miami there as well. They're not going to be able to do that, even though California is a hotbed for college football talent. You can see a lot of star potential there. So to me, in having this new era, young coach, NFL experience, Andrew Luck brought him in, of course, being the acting GM of this program, bringing him in because that is one way to attract some recruits. Hey, we've got a young coach who can relate to players, played at Stanford, right, was a quarterback pre-Andrew Luck, and he's also coached for the Washington Commanders. If you're a young player and you want to know what it takes to be an NFL player, maybe Stanford's the place to go to. Maybe if you're a quarterback too. And it's not going to be year one where it's this great improvement. But I will say this. Frank Reich came in after not coaching, and Stanford won 3 games, but they did show some signs of improvement in a couple of those late season games.
As
some
they
of
went.
them were never close. Yeah, I mean, they hung with Miami in Miami for a half, and then they lost 50-something to 14 or something like that. But they don't have the same level of talent, and I'm curious what type of passion you'll see this Stanford team play with, because there won't be anybody there in week one. It's a 4 p.m. kick, and the stadium's going to be empty, and it's a Hawaii team that on paper is better than them. But I'd love to see how a offensive-minded guy, somebody that's worked with NFL talent, is going to show out in year one. And I'm sure he's going to be the guy for the next couple of years because this seems like a long-term investment thing. Hey, we'll take the lickings of a 3-9, 2-10 season, but as long as we continue to improve year in and year out, you're going to be the next guy to run this program. And then I'll throw in one more here before we, I'm sure, hit the break.
Mm-hmm.
How about Colorado at Georgia Tech?
Yes, that was honorable mention for me. Yeah.
I don't know if you saw this. It was at Big 12 Media Days. But I think it was the Colorado quarterback that, what is it, Caden Salter or something?
No, it wasn't him, but it was.
It was the player that basically said they didn't prepare for any of their games last year. And they didn't
read the scouting report. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And I saw somebody on Twitter put this out there, and it's a very true statement. Like, that's a fireable offense. I know it was a weird year for Dion, and I always wondered after Shadur and his other son were gone, what level of commitment and what level of popularity Colorado would still be at. And I think we saw Shadur Sanders and Travis Hunter mask a lot of the major issues at Colorado, which was you have how much of that roster there simply for money, simply for the fame of Deion Sanders being there. And it gripped the college football world for 6 weeks, I would say. I mean, they were a notable team, but then when they didn't have as good of a year 2, after, of course, really bursting onto the scene in year 1, last year was okay, there are a lot of holes, and there's a lot of guys here that if they're not getting the ball, they're not getting the numbers, they're going to turn on their teammates and they're going to turn on their coaches. And to me, this is kind of that, let's be honest, it's that make or break year for Deion Sanders. If Colorado goes 3-9 or 2-10, I mean, how committed do you really believe Deion is at that point with his kids no longer playing? They're not bringing in the same level of recruits. They're not as sexy of a story. And that's a damn tough test to open up the year with against Georgia Tech, who's coming off a great year. So they're trying to go out there and humiliate Colorado on national television, but Colorado doesn't have that same I hate watch them anymore. Truth be told, we know it's Texas Tech in the Big 12, but for that little bit of time, we had Colorado as a villain, and then they got shut up rather quickly, and I wonder how long it's going to take this year, because what's funny is where we always say this, Shane, of, keep that same energy whether you're winning or losing. If you're going to be that trash-talking team, the way the U was back in when you watched them, I mean, there were a lot of people that didn't like Miami for those reasons. There were a lot of people that didn't like, I'm trying to think. Maybe I'm not trying to pick a school like Alabama or Texas because people hated them because they were so good, but I'm trying to recall another team that had that type of hate watch despite not being.
It was Miami and
good,
Atlanta. It wasn't really that close. I was
going to say
everybody outside of the state of Florida hated Miami. Yeah. I mean, maybe Oklahoma to a degree because Barry Switzer.
But they still have the tradition and everything. So to me, what I thought lost Colorado a lot of credit was after Shedeur Sanders and his brother left, that Colorado team sucked and they had no swagger, no confidence. Deion was not popping off anymore to the media. It was kind of like this, we might as well keep quiet because we're not very good. Where I would have had more respect for Colorado if they talked the same amount of trash every game despite winning 3 or 4 games, right? I would have had far more respect because now they're not as fun to watch. Like, nobody wants to see that cocky team that when they start losing, they just stop being cocky because then it's just all performative. It's just acting at that point. We beat up on some FCS team and we think we're hot, They didn't have that last year, which makes Colorado less attractive to watch. That first game, though, I'm glad to see Deion back on the sidelines. I really wanted that. And I want to see what that offensive line and quarterback play looks like, because that's always what prevented Colorado from being a consistent force in the conference, was having a good offensive line to pair with Shedeur Sanders. Now they don't have either.
Yep. Don't have Warren Sapp either. He left too. All right. When we come back, Wichita Wind Surge are hot, and their coverage is brought to you by Midwest Kia. If you're looking for a fun, affordable family day at the ballpark, stop by Midwest Kia on West Kellogg and learn how you can score free Sunday Wichita Wind Surge tickets. It's the Midwest Kia Family Corner. Midwest Kia, a better way to buy. We're going to talk to one of their outfielders, Caden Kendall, just as hot as can be. We'll talk to him when we come back.
You're listening to the Shane Dennis Show on ESPN Wichita.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them. They have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go. And that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
What do people with blindness or low vision need to live to the fullest? Just ask them. It's skill development, scientific breakthroughs, knowledge-based jobs, and the same opportunities as everyone else. When you give to Envision, whether it be your time, donations, or your engagement, you make it all possible. That's because at Envision, they don't focus on the disability.
Great.
They value the ability. They choose not to envision a world without sight, but to envision a world where people who are blind or visually impaired are empowered to reach their full potential. Learn more at envisionus.com.
Sean Tarbell here in Wichita. It's hot out there, but the deals at Davis Moore Chevrolet, they're even hotter. We just loaded the lot with the biggest selection of new and pre-owned Chevys in town, and we're not playing around this summer. Right now, get 0% financing and no payments until October, or save up to $11,000 off MSRP on a new 2026 Chevy Silverado 4x4 Crew Cab. Turn ahead this summer with a new 2026 Chevy Equinox and get 0% for 36 months. Together with Strive at Davis Moore Chevrolet, located under the big American flag in Kellogg and Tyler. Check us out online at davis-moorechevrolet.com. All offers plus tag, title, tax, and administrative fees expire August 3rd, 2026.
What's better than going to Brahms? Going and ordering.
The onion and jalapeno cheeseburger, please.
Brahms' new onion and jalapeno cheeseburger. A Brahms fresh baked bun, layered with a 100% beef patty cooked to perfection. Melted American cheese, tangy yellow mustard, topped with cooked jalapenos and onions. Every bite leaves you thinking,
Dang. That's good.
Brahms' new onion and jalapeno cheeseburger or chicken sandwiches for a limited time at your neighborhood Brahms.
After thousands of votes, our 2026 honorary ESPYs winners have been revealed. Congratulations to our Small College Male Athlete of the Year, Cavante Baker of Friends. Small College Female Athlete of the Year, Leah Hinkey of Washburn. D1 Male Athlete of the Year, K-State's Avery Johnson. And D1 Female Athlete of the Year, Kinsey Woody of Wichita State. Our honorary ESPYs are presented by Prochaska Law, You Build It Wichita, Eaton Roofing and Exteriors, Broadstroke, and the YMCA. Thanks to everyone for being a part of the honorary ESPYs, only on ESPN Wichita 92.3 FM.
Should have told you by now.
Brian Howe was the lead singer of Bad Company for a little bit. That's him right there. It's his born day. The Wind Surge extend their winning streak to 5 games with a 4-1 win over Midland last night. And one of the heroes and stars, one of the newest Wind Surge players, outfielder Caden Kendall, joins us on the hotline right now. First of all, Caden, thank you for taking some time out of your day. Appreciate talking to you. How are you?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. And for those that are just looking at the score, you would think, all right, 4-1 win over Midlands is kind of a run-of-the-mill late July game in the Texas League. It was anything but. Did I lose track, or am I right about there were 3 ejections last night involving your coaching staff and one of your players? Is that right?
Yeah, there was actually.
So Merrick Houston got tossed, right? And Nico got tossed, and one of your coaches as well, right? Was that over a disputed balk call or something like that? Give us a thumbnail sketch of why all hell broke loose there.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm being honest, I don't really know what all went down because I was out in the outfield when it all happened, so I can't really speak on it.
All right, way to take the high road there. I wasn't trying to get you in trouble. Caden Kendall joining us right now, one of the newest outfielders for the Wind Surge. You came from Cedar Rapids. We'll talk about that in a second. Hitting 9 consecutive games since being in Double-A with Wichita. You let's go back to your days growing up. You're a California guy. And you grew up in Huntington Beach and went to Cal Irvine. Take us through the recruiting process and playing for Ben Orloff. I'll ask you about him here in just a little bit, but was it your dream to stay close to home, at least in the state of California, and go into a pretty prestigious program on the West Coast like UC Irvine?
Yeah, I mean, my whole life I grew up wanting to play close to home so my family and friends come out and watch me, and it ended up all working out. I mean, UCI was only 10 minutes from my home in Huntington Beach, so my parents and family were able to come to almost every single game. So it was a blessing to have them out there and watch me play.
How early in your baseball playing life were you aware of Ben Orloff? For those that don't know, he's a coach at Cal Irvine. He's a former player and maybe one of the most decorated players in Cal Irvine history. He's a 3-time All-American, holds a bunch of records at Cal Irvine. What was your first recollection of meeting him, knowing about him, and then maybe wanting to play for him?
Yeah, I grew up going to the UCI games. I had a buddy at the time, and his older brother was playing, so when I was around like 8 or 9, him and I would go out, and he was actually the bat boy. His name was Zane Parmenter. So we'd go out a couple games and watch them play. But Ben Orloff wasn't the coach there yet. I think he was playing minor league ball at the time. And then I got recruited my senior year of high school, and he came out and watched me play. And then a couple of days later, he had me on campus and gave me an offer that I couldn't pass up, and I took it right there.
So was it an open and shut case, Cal Irvine, or were other schools on you? Was there anybody else in the mix?
Yeah, there was a couple other schools, but I wasn't a really highly touted baseball player out of high school. I kind of flew under the radar, and yeah, I mean, it all worked out.
You got drafted in the 10th round in 2023, but elected not to sign. And as I understand it, you were the highest drafted player that particular year not to sign. Why'd you go back?
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to go back to finish my degree in college, and I just felt like my heart wasn't fully in it, and I didn't want to give an organization like 1 foot in, 1 foot out, if you know what I mean. And I wanted to go back and finish my senior year because those college memories, you only get them once in your life, and we had a really good team. And if it wasn't for one game, we could have made a trip to the World Series in Omaha. So, yeah, and it all worked out. I mean, no regrets at all.
Caden Kendall, my guest, and it did all work out. A 5th round draft the next year by the Twins, and here he is in Double-A already, and off to a really good start. He's hitting 9 consecutive games. A win last night by a score of 4-1 in the midst of a myriad of ejections. And then to get back to that game last night, though, too, you guys get a couple of runs early, and talk a little bit about Caden, the effort of the starting pitcher, a guy that's been around a lot. Chris Valamont, he's a veteran, 4 really good innings. And then you go fast forward to the 9th inning, and after Kyle Bischoff walks the first 2 guys, then strikes out the next 3. That game had a little bit of everything, didn't it? But the pitching was great.
Yeah, the pitching was amazing. I mean, every pitcher absolutely dominated. Starter Valley, amazing. And then Bowen came in, slammed the door, and then Bischoff slammed the door. I mean, that was a complete team win on both sides of the baseball, and it was really fun to be a part of that game. I mean, it almost felt like a playoff game. Like everybody was in it, and it was a great game.
So getting back to your beginning of 2026, this is your 3rd stop, right? Because you were at CR before this, but then in Florida before that. The 2 stops in the Midwest. Talk a little bit about how you've kind of adapted to the Midwest, because like I said, you're a California guy, and you've been in Cedar Rapids and now Wichita.
Yeah.
How's that treating you?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a change of scenery coming from the beach, but I mean, I love it, man. Just at the end of the day, you got to be where your feet are, you know? Just enjoy the little moments and be in the present.
17 for 30. I don't know if you know what your batting average is or how well you've done here in Wichita so far at the plate, but you've hit safely in every game, and you're hitting over 500. Everybody gets into a role like this at some point in their baseball lives. What is it in particular that you're focusing on to try to stay in this groove? Obviously, you're not going to hit 500 the rest of the year, but this little run you're on here in Wichita, what are the main themes and the main takeaways that you think have gotten you going like this?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anything like crazy different. Just trying to play the game the right way and play hard and have fun, and try not to read into all the stats and stuff, and just go out there every night, take it day by day, and play hard and try and win the ball game.
Corner outfield, you got a favorite, left or right? And you've played a little bit of all over the outfield during your collegiate and your professional career. You got a preference?
Yeah. I'll definitely say right field is my favorite, but at the end of the day, it's wherever the coach needs me to play, help the team win.
9-game hitting streak for Caden Kendall, one of the newest Wind Surge players, came up from Cedar Rapids, and the Wind Surge and Midland will continue their series tonight at 7:00. They win last night by a score of 4-1. The Surge have won 5 straight. The problem is the other 4 teams in their division are playing each other. So if the Wind Surge keep winning, they'll be able to gain ground on 2 of the teams, but 2 of the other teams obviously will have to win because they're all playing each other. 5 games back in the second half or the wind surge after a slow start. Final question before we let you go, Caden. If you weren't a baseball player, you'd be doing what?
I don't know, man. That's a tough question. Right now, I'll maybe be a firefighter, I think,
Okay.
if I wasn't playing baseball right now.
All right, not a bad answer. And here's another follow-up. Sorry, this is the last one, I promise. A lot of wind surge players, when they have a day off here in Wichita, go golf. Are you a golfer too?
Yeah, I try to. I'm not the best, but yeah, I love to get out on the course with the boys and have fun and hit some balls around. But I mean, it's been hot lately, so it's been tough to get out there. On the day off, you kind of just want to chill in some AC and hang out.
Caden, continued success, continued good health. If you're in there tonight, we're all pulling for you to extend your hitting streak 10 straight. Keep it going, man. We appreciate the time. Thanks for the visit.
Thank you so much. Have a good one.
All right, Caden Kendall from the Wichita Wind Surge. He was a 5th rounder in 2024 out of UC Irvine by the Minnesota Twins after he turned down being drafted in the 10th round the year before. So Huntington Beach's own Caden Kendall joining us as the Surge. Like I said, they've won 5 straight, and they're now just 5 games back of Tulsa. But the issue is that in theory, with the Wind Surge winning games, they can only gain ground on 2 teams because the other 4 teams in the league are all playing each other. Tulsa's playing Arkansas, and Springfield's playing Northwest Arkansas. Tulsa won last night, so the Surge actually got within 1 game of Arkansas, who have now lost 4 straight, and the Wind Surge have won 5 straight because the Surge swept them in that little 3-game mini series coming out of the break. So we appreciate Caden Kendall's time. He is 17 for 30. That is 560 something. That's quite a run to begin his Wind Surge career. When we come back, we'll play a little I'm Old Jack Young, and that Wind Surge update was brought to you by Midwest Kia. Visit Midwest Kia on West Kellogg today and ask how your family can enjoy free Sunday baseball from the Midwest Kia Family Corner. Midwest Kia, a better way to buy. IOJY next.
The Shane Dennis Show will be right back on ESPN Wichita, 92.3 FM.
Hi, I'm Ben Farha, owner of Farha Roofing. Kansas weather can change in an instant. Hail, wind, and severe storms can leave your home vulnerable when you least expect it. That's where Farha Roofing comes in. Our trusted team provides professional inspections, quality workmanship, and guidance through the insurance claims process. If you think your roof may have been damaged, don't wait. Protect your biggest investment with the company Kansas Homeowners Trust. Schedule your free inspection today with Farha Roofing. Farha Roofing, we rise above the rest.
What do people with blindness or low vision need to live to the fullest? Just ask them. It's skill development, scientific breakthroughs, knowledge-based jobs, and the same opportunities as everyone else. When you give to Envision, whether it be your time, donations, or your engagement, you make it all possible. That's because at Envision, they don't focus on the disability. They value the ability. They choose not to envision a world without sight, but to envision a world where people who are blind or visually impaired are empowered to reach their full potential. Learn more at envisionus.com.
Hey, this is Evan at Conrady Insurance. When it comes to protecting your business, your family, and your future, having the right team matters. As the largest family-owned insurance agency in Kansas, we at Conrady Insurance Group take a personal approach to insurance by getting to know our clients and helping them find coverage that fits their needs. Whether it's business insurance, employee benefits, or personal coverage, we're here to help you make confident decisions every step of the way. Conrady Insurance Group. Trusted coverage, real relationships. To learn more, visit ConradyInsuranceGroup.com.
Big news, Kansas. Four Seasons RV has opened a brand new location in Andover. Your trusted RV dealer from Abilene is now even closer to Wichita families ready for their next adventure. Whether you're dreaming of weekend lake trips or cross-country road journeys, Four Seasons RV has the travel trailers and fifth wheels to get you there. Come celebrate the new Andover location of Four Seasons RV and start your next adventure today. ESPN Wichita listeners can save $500 if they mention ESPN. Four Seasons RV, your Kansas family-owned RV dealership. The Sunflower Showdown takes center stage at this year's new look TBT. Frank Mason and Mario Chalmers lead the KU alumni team, Jayhawks Hoops, into another rivalry battle with Purple Rain, K-State's alumni squad, headlined by Michael Beasley and Jacob Poland. Game 2 tips off tonight at 7 o'clock from inside Lee Arena. Catch the broadcast starting at 6:45 with me, Pat Strathman, Stan Weber, and Daniel Courtwright. It's the basketball tournament on ESPN Wichita, 92.3 FM.
Speaking of UC Irvine, Jack, you know that Florida basketball player that's 7'9"?
Yeah.
That's where he is.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he
Oliver something,
yeah.
the last name that has an X in it.
Yep. He transferred to UC Irvine. I'm old Jack Jones. This is going to stump me too. I've heard this song a million times.
I think a one-hit wonder.
Okay. You know what it sounds like, but it isn't. You know Buck Cherry?
Yeah.
Kind of sounds like them.
Not a bad comparison.
Yeah.
I said, are you gonna be my girl?
Is this a group or a guy?
Yes.
1, 2, 3, take my hand and come with me because you look so fine that I really want to make you mine. I said, you look so fine that I really want to make you mine. 4, 5, 6, come on and get your kicks. Now you don't need money with a face like that, do you?
I don't know.
This would be the band Jet.
Oh. Multiple choice. I would have got it. It would have came back to me.
I feel confident in that, yeah.
Yeah, but out of the blue, plucking it out of the air, no. But Jet, I would have gotten that. All right. So 142. Don't forget. Well, you probably won't if you have been listening wall to wall, and I know most of you do. You heard Pat on the promo just a little bit ago remind you that not only is he going to be doing Purple Rain and the Jayhawk alum TBT game tonight, Lee Arena, 7 o'clock, but he'll come your way in 20 minutes. He'll do the Pulse from up there at a location that I'm sure he'll tell you about. Plus, he'll tell you all about the Purple Rain taking game 1 of the series last night in Bramlage. Normally, he'd be along here in studio, but he's up north. Do you know where Christian Encarnacion Strand is nowadays, Jack?
I just saw that he got promoted somewhere. I want to say it's not Cincinnati, obviously. And it's
right.
Not Minnesota, of course.
Right.
Man, I want to say like Baltimore.
It is Baltimore. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He's 5 for his first 10 with 2 homers for the Orioles. He's with the Wind Surge.
Have mammoth power while here.
Yeah, he was with the Wind Surge for about 5 minutes. Then he got traded. Him and Spencer Steer got traded to the Reds. All right, Born Day.
Do you remember who it was for?
Oh man. Okay, let's go here.
It's fitting.
Also, has Simeon Woods Richardson latched on with anyone? Because they DFA'd him.
I didn't see where he got picked up. I
Yeah.
didn't see if he did.
That was a rough inning for old Simeon. So that would have been a trade between the Twins and the Reds. So who did the Twins get then, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Barely pitched for him. Couldn't stay healthy.
So it was a bad trade by the Twins, is what you're telling me.
Yeah.
I give up. Who was it?
Starter for the Giants last night in Tyler
Mahle. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to guess that because he was with the Twins for about 5 minutes, but Yeah, he had Tommy John. And then with the Rangers last year, he had a shoulder issue, right?
Yeah.
That shut him down from like June until the end of the year.
Great for Texas.
He was.
Yeah, he was up there with Bubic, I remember, for the lowest ERA in the league. And then, like Bubic, shelved second half.
His year ended when he had with a 2.8 ERA or something like that. So, all right, here we go. Born day today, July 22. I think you're going to walk away impressed with today's birthdays, Jack. Just a hunch. We'll start with Ezekiel Elliott, who's 31.
Zeke, former Ohio State Buckeye, Dallas Cowboy, and never really did anything other than that. Not first. He had a couple of great years in Dallas, got that massive contract, and I still believe that was the contract that set running backs back a long ways. Because
it was a cautionary tale, that type of contract.
Don't. And he was young and had an incredible season. It was a no-brainer. But nope. Most teams now stay away from that. Now I say that, and the Chiefs just gave Kenneth Walker a massive deal. But it's where a lot of more people said, let's just bargain bin shop and get a running back.
And he ended up with the Patriots. Patriots went that route, thinking they could milk a little bit more out of him. Steven Jackson, 43.
Former Ram. Or wait. We're talking Steven Jackson from NFL or basketball is the tough one.
He's 43 is your only good hint here.
Yeah, I'll say football.
That's right. That's the
one.
one.
That's Steven Jackson. Okay, the Ram and the Patriot. Yeah.
And the Falcon.
Number 39.
Yep, that's him.
Yep.
Mike Sweeney, 53.
Sween Dog.
Yep.
Will go down is probably one of the more underrated Royals of all time because he was just never on a good team.
Think he'll ever get his number retired up on the Hall of Fame? That just occurred to me.
Probably not.
You don't think?
I think that time is past.
Five-time All-Star, man.
I know. But see, what goes against you in that is people want jersey, like they want retired jerseys, not only for the individual numbers, they want it for what level of success did that team have. It's why if you ask some people out there, they'd say, well, yeah, you retire Gordon's jersey number or you retire Salvi's jersey number.
Because they won a World Series?
They won a World Series, and they brought a lot of joy and memory or great memories from Royals baseball.
Yeah.
And Mike Sweeney, it's not his fault. He was just stuck on some terrible, terrible teams. Other than 03. 03 was a good year, but of course didn't even make the playoffs. They had a winning record, and that was the most Mike Sweeney ever got out of Kansas City in terms of a great team. Never made the playoffs with the Royals.
I happen to think Willie Wilson should at least be on like honorable mention. Like, let's talk about it,
But see, here's why not. It's happened. They've worn the jersey after him.
I know.
And Lorenzo Cain wore 6 too.
Oh, okay. Mr. Prisoner of the moment. I know what you're saying, but Willie Wilson played like 16 or so years with the Royals before he.
No doubt. But I'm saying to me, retiring a jersey is everybody goes to that player. Like number 5. George Brett's retired. It has been for a long time. You go, when you hear number 5 in Royals history, it's George Brett.
Yeah.
I hate to say this for the old school folks.
That's exactly what my retort would be. Go ahead.
Anybody in my generation, it would be who's number 6 for the Royals. Everybody'd say Lorenzo.
And every 50-something guy would say Willie Wilson. Like me.
And you still have a toss-up of some 40-year-olds of being like Willie Wilson or Lorenzo Cain.
Maybe. How long was Cain there?
I mean, not long. I mean, in a couple of years, he didn't even play an entire year. So he was acquired in the offseason going into 2012. So 2012 to 2017. Yeah, nowhere close.
Not that long, really.
17 years, but still, it was it was a tremendous run because the short time he was there, the Royals were very good.
Mm-hmm. Won a lot of games. Keyshawn Johnson, 54.
Jet.
Yes.
Analyst.
Buccaneer. Tim Brown, 60.
When was the last time we had Tim Brown?
Long time.
Football.
Yeah. Heisman Trophy winner. Raider. Sergei Zubov, 56.
Basketball.
No. Hockey.
Dang. I should have waited.
Coin flip. Yeah. Well, if I would have said Russia, would that would have made any difference?
I would have said hockey. Because anytime you say, I got a hint for you or whatever it be, born in hockey.
There's some European basketball players, though. Alvin Robertson, 64.
Let's go basketball.
Yes. He had one of only, I believe, 5 quadruple doubles in NBA history. He was the only guard to do it. Dave Steeb, 69.
This is baseball.
Yep. Pitcher.
Hall of Famer.
Yep. No.
Right? Isn't he a Hall of Famer?
No, he's Hall of pretty good, but not Hall of
Oh,
Fame.
dang, I'm so in the dark. I could've
7-time
sworn.
All-Star. He's really good, though.
Has he been up for voting? I feel like he would have been.
He's been retired
Dave
long
Steve
enough.
was really good.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, but
Dave Steeb won 176 games. So Hall of pretty good. .44 ERA. Only no-hitter in Blue Jays history. Many, many near no-hitters. Like into the 9th inning no-nos.
I got a fun question for you.
All right.
And I know it's I'll give you the options here.
All right.
Who throws the Royals' next no-hitter? Is it someone you want to name, or do you think it's going to be one of those random ass guys that has it and you never hear from again? Like Philip Humber,
right?
Royal, did for the White Sox. I was at the game in Minnesota where Jorge Lopez was 3 outs away from a perfect game. And that's still, I can't even believe the likelihood of that happening. But you can just basically answer someone we know right now, or do you think it'll be just wow, I can't believe he got a no-hitter?
It'll be the latter. It's no one we know right now.
At random?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think that's fair because I don't know. And it's funny because
like the next Brett Saberhagen's not walking through that door, so it's not him. You know what I mean? It's going to be a while before.
Yeah. It'd be a great bet to like a good bar bet to be like, right now, we'll put $50 down on it. You can take a guy, any guy you want right now on the Royals or in their farm system or a field.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it'd be a great bet and be like, who's it going to be?
I think I would take the field. Wouldn't you? Sounds like you would. Yeah.
You have to. Yeah.
I mean, somehow, some way, Ben Cooter could figure it out. And that kid that's at Quad
David
Cities
Shields,
right
Henry
now.
Churio,
Right.
but
Those guys, maybe.
You know how many great arms have never had a no-hitter?
I know. Trust me.
Like, that's what's crazy.
That's a great. You're right. That was a great question.
I was just thinking about that. I'm like,
I feel like that it's almost 50-50 between studs and who in the no-hit club. Like it's almost right down the middle.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like Nolan's got 7, Koufax got 4, but Bud Smith has 1 too.
Well, no-hitters just they're forgotten so quickly now, where we had a stretch of years where I want to say it was 3 or 4 years in a row there was a no-hitter.
Here's a qualifier for you.
Yeah.
Does a combined no count?
Nope, I don't count.
I don't either. Okay, good. Yeah.
To me, when the Royals were up for a combined no-hitter against the Rays, I said, stop with this nonsense. No, that takes away the unbelievableness of one guy going through the order 3 times and getting outs.
Yeah.
You spare me. I mean, seriously, you get an opener, then you get a bulk reliever, then you get a closer. The Rays would have had the most forgotten combined no-hitter I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, but I'll give them this. At least they declared that the guy that's starting is only going 1 or 2. Like that was their plan all along.
It doesn't matter.
I know.
The first inning could be really hard for. Clearly, the first inning was too hard for Ian Seymour. Otherwise, he would have started. So I don't even think it should be in the record books. I think it's the biggest scam you could possibly do.
Team no hitter. You got to get credit for it. You didn't give up any hits.
Sure, like put it a little asterisk there in the history books. But to me, it's like hitting 3/4 of the cycle, or 3/4 of the cycle, and then you need a triple, and you pinch hit.
Somebody pinch hits and gets it. Yeah. Okay.
Hey, combined triple or combined cycle. Let's give him the. Yeah, they did it together, did they not? That's pretty remarkable. No, stop it. It's so stupid. You know how many combined no hitters the Royals could have had with HDH?
Oh, good point. Jerk somebody after 5 innings and then turn it over to those guys.
I did read a stat. I don't remember if I sent this to you. I'll make it quick. That 2014 season, and I believe it was accurate. It was Google AI, so blame them if it's wrong. Herrera, Davis, and Holland combined in 2014 to blow 2 saves.
I wonder how many times they all 3 pitched and didn't give up any hits.
Oh, goodness.
You know what I mean? Had to be like
20,
20 times or more where they didn't get touched.
Yeah.
Today's the anniversary of Maddox's 78 pitch game against the Cubs. That was a complete game. Speaking of oddities, I don't think Maddox ever threw a no-hitter. There you go.
That sounds right.
Yeah, I don't think he did. All right, there you go. TBT tonight later on, and Pat and the Pulse going to be along here any minute now to tell you all about it. So stick around.
Bye, Shane.
Bye.